There's this game that some people like to play when they hear that you like cycling. They're going to ask how much your bike costs. I don't like that game. They think that $800 would be expensive for a bike. That means they think $2,000 would be really expensive for a bike. And I purchased my bike for $9,299. Let me show you this $9,299 piece of equipment that I purchased kind of on a whim. A Trek Amanda. Oh, this is a crappy tripod. I can't get the whole bike. Whatever, you don't need to see the front wheel. Trek Amanda SLR7 SRAM Force ETAP. It was not exactly a sound purchasing decision. Started during the pandemic. I was living in Los Angeles, riding around Griffith Park, Santa Monica Mountains, all on dirt, falling in love with the sport. Forgot to mention I was riding on a gravel bike, Trek Checkpoint, like 25 pounds, knobby tires, not built for speed. That was the bike that I took when I moved back to New York. When I was moving back, I made a stopover in Chicago, where I'm from. A Specialized store recently opened in my neighborhood. I like bikes, so I stopped in. They like sales, so they had me try one. It was a 5K tarmac Compline, I think. I'd never ridden a road bike before. It was magic. But 5K was way beyond the value that I had associated with that magic. I never rolled turns. I didn't have a concept of racing. I didn't have a concept of speed yet. I had no idea the rider that I was going to become. So that 5K seemed like too much. But I moved to New York. There's no dirt. Grandpas are going faster than me. There's nothing more powerful than insignificance to make you want to purchase something new. I looked for that Trek bike, or I looked for that Specialized bike. It wasn't available. I was a noob, didn't want to assemble anything. I just wanted to buy a bike in a store. I go to the Trek that's a few blocks away from me. All I know is that I wanted something black because I thought it was going to look cool, and I wanted a light bike. And they had two options. They had the Amanda and they had the Madone. And both of them cost close to $5,000 more than I had roughly budgeted. I knew that I wanted to get more into it though. I did not understand any of the intricacies between a climbing bike and an aero bike. And I made a purchase kind of rashly, like 2 days later. I didn't do any research. I should have gotten the Madone. So this thing, I didn't know it at the time, but 42 millimeter bars. They might even be 44. I haven't looked. It's so embarrassing. Look at this. I'll be feigning an aero position here. Nothing aero about that. This is where you want to be. That's a Dylan Johnson tucked in. I'm Mr. Broad Shoulders out here. It's a climbing bike. I didn't know that. Another thing about it, these tires, or the wheel set, 37 millimeters here. That's not deep dish. These braces that we're doing, when it gets going, it's 50K plus an hour. 37 millimeters isn't helping me. Then you have some other little things like seat post here, kind of a junker, no drop seat stays, maybe a little skinny in the bottom bracket area, not gonna be as stiff, not as good for sprinting. Are these things highly correlated with how efficiently you can go fast when the race starts going? Yeah. Is it what's keeping me from winning? No. And also, are these things potentially associated with how I was able to fall in love with it? Rolling on these big boy bars, when I've never really handled a bike at high speed before, made it a lot easier for me to feel comfortable and safer on the bike. When I'm a Hubbard and don't know how to ride in wind, don't know how to ride when it's gusty, was the fact that these are 37 millimeter a lot more comfortable than maybe kept me from getting blown over at a time? Yeah. In terms of durability, I had the same wheel set for 3 straight years. I've had to replace a couple things. I've cracked the frame twice. I was able to get them covered by either insurance or Trek. Had to replace the rear mech twice. This is like maybe the only complaint that I would have. Beyond that, I think the only thing that really matters is I've ridden this thing 10,000 plus miles every single year since I've gotten it. And are there specifications that aren't the best suited for the type of rider that I've become? Yeah. So is it my dream bike? No. But do I dream about cycling every night? And is this the bike that I ride? Yeah.